Morning, morning, everybody. Michelle is here on a Wednesday, October the 4th, 2023. I thought I'd get up and get this day going because I do have some appointments later in the day. How about that? Looks nice outside. I hadn't gone out there. Apparently, like I said, it must be chilly out there. I see people with sweaters and jackets and hats on. It's a little, it's a nice, comfortable. And here, I'm always expecting my environment. Always looking around, see what's going on, what may have happened overnight, and whatever. So everything looks good, because this is an old building. So I have to pay attention to, what's going on with the structure. I have to. So anyway, I'm here. I feel good like I know I should. In the place to be. All right. A lot of things on my mind is of course, right? A lot of things I'm discovering and learning. And, so that's why it's so important. Because I even said this in the beginning. To, take your time to get to know somebody. But you can still be in a relationship with them and be married to them if you know that's who you want to be with. Nothing, none of that needs to interfere as such. If you know, if you know this is who I'm supposed to be with, okay, cool. But take the time to get to know them though, and because it does take time to do that. I told you about my dad. He saw my mom when they were very young, getting on a school bus. Well, she was getting on the school bus with her sister. He saw her, paid attention to her. I don't think he knew what that was, why he happened to just focus on her. He just saw her there with her sister getting on the school bus. Okay. And then they just so happened to end up in the same city, years later. And she saw him. And then she, called out to him. And I think she said, or he said, well, because my dad was the one that was remembering the story. My mom, she was starting to have some issues with memory. But he said, she called out to him, and my dad recognized another sister that my mom was staying with, and the rest is history. How about that? The rest is history. Mean here I am because of that union or partnership, relationship, marriage, whatever you want to call it, connection, alignment. Okay, that's what that was. It was an alignment. So sometimes, you, like I said, when you are expressing yourself, you're gonna get signs. You're gonna get signpost. It's sometimes, a lot of people call it a spark of inspiration, or a spark of ideas. Okay, sometimes having a muse, M-U-S-E, is just as important. Something about either a person, place, or thing that gets you inspired and gets you motivated and gets you like, whoa, wait. Sometimes you need that kind of jolt of inspiration. Some people wake up out of a dream and like, whoa, and then they have inspiration there. I used to monitor my dreams a lot back in the days, but I don't need to really. I mean, I got the signs, I got the signposts, I know what's going on, so I don't need to be delving into it as such. But I do pay attention to it, and I consider everything that's coming out of me, because stuff was cultivated in me for that reason, to allow it to express itself out of me. So I don't dismiss anything. There's, like I said, no such thing as coincidence. No such thing as something happening by chance. It's a cause and effect. Always. No one wants to accept that, because we like to interfere in that process. And thus, here we are, facing each other. Okay, and to be honest with you, it doesn't look good. And if we're honest with ourselves, we know it doesn't look good either. All right? So, get to know someone. Okay, like I said, if you know this is who I want to marry, this is who I want a partnership up with, this is who I want to have a relationship with, you could do that. A lot of people feel as though, I need to know completely about this person. I need to know. Okay, do of course, there's a logical, uh, um, preparation when you just don't, like I said, when you relying on third parties, that's where you run into problems. Okay, that's all I'm saying. If you get that and say, okay, that's it. I know that when I see it. And some people know it when they hear it, and some people know it when they feel it. Okay, yeah. I want that. I want to be with them. Do it. But then still take the time to know them, and get the time, and still continue the time to know you, and then continue the time to know, what it means to be in a partnership with someone else. You can still be in a partnership and still learn what it means to be in a partnership. Just like a marriage. You can learn what it means to be in a marriage, because we're wasting time. That's all I'm saying. We're just wasting time. When we can just take out some of these barriers and these blockage, because back in the day, we all know that some of our parents and our relatives, they didn't take that long they didn't, do a background check, even though people do. You can. They didn't do this or that and the other. They just knew. They knew this is who I want to be with. And that's how I feel. I know who I want to be with. And if I can't be with that person, then I don't want to be with anybody else, to be honest with you. Because my consciousness won't allow it, number one. And my body will not respond. And that's important when I say that. Your body doesn't respond. Okay, so in other words, I'm wasting my time and theirs. Because I'm not going to be fully into them. And I'm just being very honest. I'd rather be by myself than to be trying to force myself to be with somebody. All right? And I've done enough of that. And I've also said over the course of time, I rejected, but I also got, I was rejected a lot, but I also rejected a lot of people myself. All right? It goes, that's how it is. So you need an equal balance of all of those kind of things that, that illustrate what it means to reject and what it means to be rejected. You have to have that. What it means to be happy, what it means to be sad, So take the time to get to know people. Even if you've been married 5 years, 10 years, consider, what do you actually know about that person? What do you like about that person? Why did you even come together in the first place, right? And see if that spark is still there. For me, it is. I'm good. Like I said, I know who I am. I know what I want. I'm good. I'm fine. But I know we waste a lot of time, though. Lining up things. Okay, tall, short, because I got books and stuff to prove that. I got documents I found that I was doing that too. Wasting time. Just wasting time. Instead of just allowing stuff to align up. And it's like a spark. It's like, whoa. And I call it a steindelatosis. And that essentially means just a spark. It's like an inspiration. It's like, whoa. And a lot of people get their ideas from that. But, the original actual creators do. A lot of other people keep using third parties. That's why, certain applications were created to know what everybody's searching for. I said this so many times. Let's know what they're searching for so that I can come in and, morph myself into an expert. That's what was happening. I know that. I was a part of it. I know it. Okay? So we just have too much interference. And that interference is deep, 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 deep to where it's wedged itself into our subconscious. And when it's in our subconscious, oh boy, that can make or break us. And like I said, it can throw you into experiences you will not survive. And you won't be able to tell anybody because what? Like I said, you did not survive. You cannot tell people or warn them, oh my goodness, this is what, and so when people say that they've had these near-death experiences, chances are, that there's some debate about whether that is even possible. And so we'll get into that some other time down the line. A lot of it is just, like I said, you can believe anything you want. And if you're not aware and conscious of it, you can conjure up all your beliefs and believe that something happened when it may not have happened. Something that may have existed that never existed. Whether it's an entity, whether it's a this or that or the other. Everything is, your projection of it, your perception of it. And so that's how powerful the might of the thoughts are. It can conjure up anything you want it to be. But if it's not logical, okay, that's where the problems come in. Major. Because in most cases, when we have all these beliefs that are conjured up, we are unconscious of what the effects are. We're just unconscious of it and not realizing that, it's spinning for you, but not going nowhere, but it's spinning and conjuring up stuff to bring it into an experience for you. Like I said, you may not survive it. So it's best to be conscious of something and say, okay, what am I conjuring up here? Is this actual reality? Is this a fantasy? It requires a lot of self-reflection forever. All right, a lot of self-reflection. So, again, get to know people and genuinely be interested in, okay, what is really going on with this person? And chances are, you may realize you were faulting someone for something that was just your own fantasy, something you created that has nothing to do with them. Nothing to do with them at all. And you may have a fantasy of what you think you want that never existed and will not ever exist ever. It's like, and so again, it all depends on how you express yourself, what your thoughts are, what your beliefs are. You're conjuring up something that doesn't exist. So that's why you won't find it ever. But you can have sociopaths, psychopaths, narcissistics that are good at picking up those kind of signals that can morph themselves into that. And then what? You are living with a monster, as they say, sleeping with the enemy. So have fun with yourself. Have fun with your life. There's a lot more going on behind the scenes than anybody will ever tell you. And it may not be anything you want to know. So make sure you have appropriate questions about what you want to know, and make sure you can handle it, and make sure you're ready for it. All right, I'm going to share over the course of time a whole lot of that stuff from what I know, and then others are going to do the same thing. But it's going to be rooted in logic and being reasonable as well, hopefully. Now, you can take it into a fantasy and create something out of it, create a science fiction out of it, fine. Though that's your free will. That's your free will. So I'm going to go ahead and stop it right there because I'm getting hungry again. I had something to eat earlier. I'm getting hungry again. So I'm going to stop it right there, and I want to send peace and love all over the stars and moon and mountains. And trust me, I'll be back.